Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for another Journaling on a Budget. Last week we made our Flower Girl envelope tag, and this week we are going to do the other side, finish off the 2-page spread. And so to start out with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put our book aside first. And then I'm just going to kind of line up my tag with a piece of scrap paper. This is a piece that matches our cover and our inside cover, and I thought it would be nice to bring that into the inside of the journal in a few places. So I'm just going to hold it nice and tight to keep it even. Alrighty, and then get this last side here. Okay, so there we go. Now we have the back side of our envelope. And what I think I want to do is, I think that I want to have a little bit of an edge of the envelope all the way around. So if you take your tag that's cut, take your covering paper that's cut exactly to the size of your tag, and then just slide it down a little bit. Then what it does is it gives you a little edge around the top. So what I want to do is I want to cut, this is probably about 1/8 of an inch. I want to cut about 1/8 of an inch off both sides and twice that much on the bottom because the bottom is currently sticking out. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Maybe I should cut it right because we want to make sure, because we have these angles, we want to make sure that we cut them the same size, each side the same size. Alrighty, so I'm going to say that the edge of the flat part of the tag is right at about 3 1/4, so 3 3/8. So I'm going to move it over to 3 1/4. That'll take off about 1/8 of an inch. Just cut that off. I'm going to flip it over. And now we're just past 3 1/2, so I'm going to come to just under 3 1/2 to take off approximately the same amount. And then on the bottom, I'm just going to kind of eyeball that and take off about a little more than 1/8 of an inch. And we'll hope that that works to fit on our tag with a little bit of a border all the way around. I have already cut a tag to put inside. Again, that matches our front cover. We'll leave that out for now. And we'll see how this does. So we've got a nice amount on each side. We do not have enough on the bottom, so I'm going to take a little bit more off the bottom. And we'll see how that looks. There, I like the way that that looks. Alrighty, so I'm going to edge. I'm going to edge this in blue just to get rid of the white edges on our paper. This white edge here, which, you know, you don't notice it when you're just looking at it, but the second you glue it to something, that's when you notice that white edge on the paper. Unless you're putting it against something white, it really sticks out. So there we go. And I'm also going to edge my edges a little bit more. I'm going to bring that blue in a little bit. It doesn't have to be even in the density of the color. You know, like a little bit darker here and a little bit lighter there is nice. Just kind of want to bring it in so that it comes up to our tag. Like that, and then let's see how that looks. There, I think that looks really nice. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue our tag on. We're not going to put the glue on our tag because we don't know where it goes, because this is the shape of an envelope underneath. So we're going to put our glue on the envelope underneath and then set our cover paper over top of that. And I'm just using Fabri-Tac glue because it grabs quickly and it does hold very nicely. I only buy this when it goes on sale. When I get a 60% off coupon from Joann's, that's when I buy my Fabri-Tac, because as far as I'm concerned, I think it's about $15 a bottle, and with my 60% off, I get it for $6 something. And to me, $15, I wouldn't pay $15 a bottle for any glue. And I have to remember not to go out to the blue edges, because our cover paper does not go all the way out to the edge. And then I need to follow the lines of the envelope, staying just inside the edges, because you don't want that to squish out onto your opening where your tag's going to be put in. So we'll just put this on here like this. And I forgot to punch my little half circle, but I'm going to wait on that to make sure that I have it centered where I want it. So I'm going to put this on here, just like that, kind of coming away from the way that the envelope opens as I press that glue down, so that I'm not pressing it into the opening. And then I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper and just make sure that I have not glued that down. And I haven't, so that's good. Now I'm going to take our little half round. Now, because this has a nice flat bottom on it, I can, and a flat top too, I can stick it in here. If you've got one that's really fat, you have to cut your hole ahead of time. And I kind of just want to look at about centered top and bottom, and put the punch right there. I'm going to put a little bit of blue on there, just because I can. And I want to edge that circle too, to make sure that it's not all white. So there we go. And now we have that covered. We have a journaling card that we can stick. This is not a journaling card. And I could make it a journaling card very easy by putting some coffee dyed paper, tea dyed paper on the back. I thought that this was a nice size for someone to put a picture on. And, you know, that is something that's nice to have in your journals, is some of your pictures. And it's nice to have just a mat to put your pictures on. So, and if you have a journaling card, you can always, and you want to put a picture on it, and you don't like just the plain old tea dye paper or whatever color paper, lined paper, whatever was put on there, you can always just stencil on it a little bit to make it more like a mat, because a mat usually has some interest to it. And so now we have this, and now a picture can be glued right on the back of this, and you don't have to worry about doing anything to that. And so that will just fit right in there. And then I want to put just a little tab right here. And I'm just going to take a little piece of our paper. I want it to be the blue color, not the lined. So I'll just cut that. And then I don't really want it to be straight, so I'm going to make sure that I don't cut off. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I'll leave that like that. Kind of come in and down, and then straight across. And then to get the other side the same way, I'm going to just flip it over. And just kind of cut it about the same. Like that. And that looks pretty good, except that it needs to be a little bit more rounded right here. go. Alright, now I don't really need that tab to be sticking down that far, so I'll cut it like that. And then I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to like that. So I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac on it, which I set back up and I should not have because it's getting low. I've heard you could add acetate to this, but I haven't tried it yet, and I think I've probably said that before. So we're just going to put this on here. I'm going to put it on the whole thing. Make sure you get out to that bottom edge that's going to grab your little photo mat so that it actually sticks to the photo mat. Then I'm going to slide this back in. Put this right there. Just like that. I'm going to take it out now that I know that I've got it where I want it. Just make sure that it looks straight. And give it a good press, and then I'm going to leave it out to let it dry a little bit. And then, like if you put a picture on the back of it, and it's in here like this, you could put, let's say you put a picture of hubby. You could just put hubby right on your little tab, and then you'll even know that that's on there. I'm just going to, I can do the whole thing, I'm just going to do this outside edge because when I folded it, it cracked. So we just fixed it. There we go. Now we have our tag, we'll set that aside. And this actually looks really nice. I was thinking about maybe doing a little bit of stenciling on it and putting a flower. And I do want to put a flower, but I'm not so sure if I want a stencil or not. So I'm going to do two things. I've got my little Punchinella here, and if you don't have Punchinella, this was actually a bow I got at the dollar store, and it was all, you know, like it was shaped like a bow. It's got some holes in it here when I undid it, but I just undid it and kept the Punchinella. But I'm going to try it with blue, and I'm going to try it with pink, because we've got pink on the other side of our page, remember. So let's just do both and see how they look. I'm not sure if the pink would look good on this or not. It might be a little too dark. So we're going to find out. Maybe a little bit more. And there we go. And actually both of them look nice. So I think I might just randomly put a little bit of both of them on there before we choose a flower to put on here. I'm just going to put this on here like this, making sure I avoid my big hole there. And it's okay to even go right up on that little edge that we left. Just pulling it all together. And remember, it's just supposed to be random, so that your spots of pink don't have to all be exactly the same size. They don't have to all be like round balls. They can be long lines. They can be whatever you want to randomly just put it on there. Let's take that off and see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. Now we'll put in some blue. And hopefully I don't grab the red as I'm doing this. I should cover that up. Really good about doing that. Reaching up and grabbing the wrong color. Now because I already have the pink on here and it's kind of hard to see, I do kind of want to look and see where do I want a little bit more. I want some right over here. And I want some right down in here. And a little bit on this corner. There. And I think that that looks really nice. That's a nice background. And then we're just going to find a flower to put on there. And I think that that will be good. So, and I'm not sure if I want a blue flower. That's kind of pretty. Or if I want a pink flower. That's kind of pretty too. Let's see what that looks like with a blue pot. And let's even try a little of the Punchinella on the pot in pink. Oh, that's really kind of cute. We have a polka dot pot. Now let's put it on there and see what it looks like. I like it. I think that that's really pretty. And the other side of our page is pink, so that will go nicely with the other side of our page. And we have our white edge, and I think I'm going to use just a little bit of the pink on the edges. And you don't have to get every bit of white off of there. Just tone it back a little bit, including where the leaves are. That looks really nice. Now, there's a big spot of white there, and I don't like that. So, just going to soften it up just a little bit. Oops, with the pink. There we go. I like it. Okay, we're going to put some glue on it after I wipe it off. I'm doing real well with my glue today. That time I set it down on the side and it was spitting all over the place. So we're just going to, and it still doesn't want to be down at the bottom. There we go. Just get some glue on here. And you could do this with easily with your stick glue too. That's good. Just want it to hold. You don't want it falling off. Do I want it at the bottom? I really like it right in the middle. I normally don't do a lot of things right in the middle, but this one, it just called for it. It has enough going around it that it looks good there. So there we go. And then this fits in here like this. So this is the back side. Now we have a problem because this is going to be a flip out. So my tag, my little tab that I let stick out is a little bit too, it sticks out a little too far. Unless we were to tape it on this side. We could tape it on that side. Let's grab our book and see. If not, we're going to just cut that off. It's not that big of a deal. Remember, we glued the whole thing. So because we glued the whole thing, if we cut it off, it will be just fine. Now we just have to find the page. I know it was in this second section. Here. I could tape it this way, and then it would flip out. And when it flipped out, we would have our flower girl. So then we would have kind of pinks and blues and pinks. And when it was closed, it would look like this, which does look nice. Or we could put it in like this and do it on this side so that it flipped in. I need to catch a little bit right there. We've got some sticking up. There we go. And actually, in looking at this now, I was going to do the pink side up and then the blue side would be inside so that this kind of matched. But actually, in looking at it like that, it's quite busy, it's quite bright. And when I look at it like this, I really like the way that this whole thing looks. And then when you have the pink, the blue, and the pink, I like that also. So actually, we're not going to cut the tab off, and we are going to tape this on like this. And I grabbed some washi tape that I thought I liked the way it would look. Just have to find it. Here it is. And then I am going to put a little glue on it also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of flip my book around like this. And then I'm going to take my tag and set it on the table. that back a little bit, can I? There we go. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to line my washi tape up. Now this has got to go to the back side of this page. And the back side of this page is blue. So I'm going to put the green on this side. This is part blue and part green. I'm going to put the green on this side, and the part that folds over will be blue. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut it right here. If it's a little bit long, I'll let the long part stick out the bottom of my tag so it's easier to cut off. And then we're just going to run this across our glue stick. Just because washi tape is actually meant to be a removable tape. I didn't get any right here. And so you want to make sure that it sticks because it's going to hold your tag in. And by putting this on my table and doing it this way, I can line it up a whole lot easier than trying to do it while it's in my book. Now I have that there. I can cut that off. Okay, we're going to grab our book. We're going to decide just where it goes. Do I want it at the very bottom? I really want it kind of centered. I'm in a centered mood today. I'm just going to flip this over, open my page up, and I usually start in the middle. And then just push that down. Hold it down till it grabs. And even though I did it to get it straight, it's not straight. Sorry, I'm just pushing it over here. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got that taped in here. Now what we're going to do is open it up, and we're going to tape it right down here also. And on this one, I had figured I would put the green on the flower side. Cut it right in here. And put the blue on the page side. Try not to tape it to itself. Once you get it started, then you can just kind of hold it down right on top of your glue and pull it through. Round up here, so get that unwound. Just like that. Line it up with the one on the other side. And I'm going to need to cut off just a little bit here at the bottom. There we go. And now we have that one all set in there. Make sure that it's nice and tight on there. Make sure it's sticking. And there we go. So now here is our flip out. That flips in. And then we have this here. We have a photo mat here, which matches our front cover and has a nice spot for a photo. And actually, you could if you used a black marker, you could write on that if you wanted to. But I like to have some photo spots in the books. And I think that we have more journaling spots than photo spots at this time. So then we're going to look at this and think, do we want to do anything with this page here? Do we want to add a flower or something? Do we want to add a little bit of, and I think what I'm going to do is a little bit of Punchinella in the corners, because I don't think that it really needs much. And that was just my foot hitting the, I have to stand on a little exercise step, and it's all ridged, so my foot just hit it and it made a funny noise. Yes, I like that there. Come down here. Whoops, not with the bad spot. Put some in this corner. And I'm not even gonna do the other corners. I like it just those two corners. So there we go. And now that page is complete. Now there was one more page. These pages are staying the way they are, but I also had, this was week 45. We made the colored stamps, the Anywhere Dangles. Not sure which one it was, but this is a colored stamp and an Anywhere Dangle. And I'm going to put this as a belly band right in the center of this page, or do I want it as a tuck pocket on this side of the page? We look through the camera and see what it looks like on the side or in the middle. I'm just at a center point today. I'm going to put it right in the center. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac for this, and because this piece of paper had some hearts punched out of the bottom of it, I'm going to put the glue just above the hearts. So the hearts are just down there at the bottom. I'm going to put a little glue here at the top. So that we'll have a belly band. Just like that. And then put it right in. And I'm going to put it right up towards the top, because it's a little bit short. And so I want the extra to be at the bottom. There we go. Press that down there. Press it down here. And there we go. Now we have a tuck spot. And actually, did I have... I thought I had some leftover paper to put in there, but that was something else I was working on. And there we go. Now we have our little Anywhere Dangles here, and we have a belly band that we'll have to find something to put in. And that is done. The second signature is almost complete, but I hope that you enjoyed this tag that we made today, or finished up today, and the way that this layout works. I do like it. Here you can put a picture, or you can draw, you can write, you can do anything that you want to. I do like to leave some pages. There's enough color here to give it interest. It's not just a blank page, but not every page has to have something on it, or otherwise people can't always use it for what they may want to use it for. So we always need to have a few places, some with lines to write, some that are plain that you can do whatever you want to, and then, you know, tags that are good for mats, and tags that are good for journaling. So that is today's spread. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.